Hi, my name is Alka Aneja, and I'm happy to welcome everyone back to Vastu with Rshmi. Wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone for tuning in to us, sending us emails, and we're trying to answer every question on each episode as it happens. But we are really, really, really very thankful for the response we've received. And at this point, I would like to welcome Rshmi Kumar, our specialist in Vastu. Hi, Rshmi.
Hi, Alka. Thank you for having me over. So it is glad to see that small changes, little by little, if you can make changes in your house, you can get a more blissful and a more peaceful house. And it's glad to see that people are interested in it.
Absolutely. Rshmi, I wanted to ask you, begin just for the viewers who are joining us today, how did you get into Vastu?
So it's an interesting episode, which I had mentioned earlier, but for our new viewers, I'll mention it. I have done 16 years into a software industry. I did my master's in computer science, and somewhere the life situation got me interested in Vastu, and I got more interested because it is a science. I realized that it's based on 5 element theory and how the energies of the house and the energy of the earth affects our day-to-day living.
It makes logical sense to you.
It made very logical sense.
Yeah.
And making small changes, and it can be just an interior decoration extension, I would say. If you do it in the right way, it can resolve problems. And it did for me, it did for my friends and family, and I realized that this is what people needs to be aware of.
Nice.
You should not run away from these things that it is some magic, where exactly, long time back, even if a light bulb was lit, people thought it is magic.
Yes.
And it's same with Vastu. People are trying right now understanding, I don't believe in it, but actually it's a science. Just wait till it's been proven properly.
Right.
But it is getting there.
That's nice. So today's topic, Rshmi, we wanted to talk a little bit about kids' education. And today's, with the social media, with Facebook, with Instagram, all the kids have so much stimulus, right? And so when it comes to studying, focus is a big issue. Is there something, a small remedy, a tweak that you can do at home to have your kids focus better?
Definitely. Focus is one big thing that we say, okay, even if you have your kids sitting in front of the book, but if they are not able to focus, they won't be able to understand much. They won't be able to retain it.
Yeah.
So there are, again in Vastu, there are different areas in the house. Let me just go back and explain it to you what I explained in the previous episodes.
Okay.
Is the house, if you stand in the middle of the house and you cut the house as a pizza cutter into 16 areas, each of these areas have its own properties.
Okay.
So one of these areas is for the zone, is called as the zone of clarity. One of those areas is called as the zone of retention.
So each zone has a name?
Each zone has its name, but for our simplicity, we'll just call it a zone of clarity.
Okay.
So if you actually have these zones and there are like different energy fields, each of these energy fields are like the templates which I explained, right? So if you are sitting in the zone of clarity and you are focused, your focus will be much more clearer. But at the same time, if the zone is actually having a lot of clutter, your mind will be the same thing. Going back to that same logic where your mind, your house is the blueprint of your subconscious mind.
So it's where you sit in your home is going to affect your focus?
Exactly. So where you sit, where the kid is sitting, where the kid is sleeping, where they're spending most of their time is going to affect them. Now, northeast, as I explained, the northeast and the southwest, that particular axis, if you draw a line between your northeast to the southwest, and you're saying that area, if you keep it more clutter-free, the northeast specifically, if you do not have any kitchen there, you do not have a toilet there, you do not make it a storage.
Right.
It will give you a maximum clarity as to when the kid is studying for the exam, they exactly know what to study. It's not going to be like, where do I start from? I have to read so many books.
So is this why sometimes our mind is all fuzzy?
Yes, exactly.
Is it where we're sitting?
You got it there. So if you have other things in there, like if I have kept a lot of clutter in there, I will keep having very vague feelings as to, I don't know what I need to do. I will see like 10,000 things in front of me and I don't know where to start from.
So when someone is writing their goals for the beginning of the year, is this something where they should sit down in a particular direction of Vastu and then write down their goals? Because they'll be more focused, they'll be focused to the rest. So is that what they're supposed to be doing?
So I'm going to give you a very generic way that applies to everybody, but again, for very specific needs, you should do it based on the astrology. Like what is your birth chart saying? What is the best beneficial direction for you? I can suggest based on that where your study table should be, where the kid should sleep and stuff like that.
So it's more astrologically dependent?
It is more to get the maximum benefits out of it.
Got it.
But if I have to say generic way,
yes,
northeast of the house, no matter what your astrological chart says, but the northeast of your house has to be always clutter free.
Okay.
Now, if you have a kitchen or if you have a toilet or if you have something already there.
Or garage.
Or
with storage.
I know where you're going. Exactly. Yes, you need to clear that. If you clear that, you will get the right ideas as to how can I progress further.
Okay.
The more clutter you keep there, you will be more confused as to, oh, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do next.
Got it. Okay.
So northeast has to be clear to start with. Now again, I studied, I know what to do.
Okay.
Now I am saying,
so should the child be facing northeast? Should the child be sitting in the northeast quadrant?
Northeast,
or the northeast pie?
Yeah, the northeast pie, the slice. If you sit in there, it'll give you the clarity.
Okay.
Person doesn't have to sit in the northeast.
Okay.
The northeast area of your house has to be clutter free.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So they can sit wherever they want.
They can sit based on their astro chart.
Okay.
But the best direction for anybody to sit is between the southwest and the west. The area between the southwest and the west is the zone of retention.
Oh.
So that is like the memory bank.
That's memory bank. That's where if you study.
That's where if you keep your books, that's where you keep your pencils, pen holders and all that, you will have the knack of remembering the things. Okay? So now where the northeast gave you the clarity of what you need to study, that particular areas between the southwest and west will give you the retention to remember it exactly what you studied during the time of your exams.
Wow.
So there are like multiple zones playing in. But again, going back to the key factor, if your house is already clutter free, you don't have to worry much.
That's right.
Then you have to only worry about that certain areas for the kids.
Right.
Education.
But so if somebody cannot, if they want to get good grades, right?
Yeah.
And so what is it for focus and retention, obviously, but what else can you give a little thing to the viewers of where the child has to sit, or where the child, where should they place their books, or where should they place their calculator to say, you know, which zone should it be in to be getting the best results?
So again, very generic way, yes, between the area of, if you keep your books and everything within the southwest to west direction, which will give you the maximum benefits. Like southwest area is called the area of skills.
Okay.
So whatever skills you are trying to develop. So for example, I am learning for my doctorate. Then the instruments that I use for my practice.
So this is the same for adults too then?
Yes.
Adults will put it in the same place. So if somebody wants to get a job and saying, you know what, I need to study more to get a better job or to progress in my field or whatever.
Exactly.
So same place?
Same place. If you keep it in your southwest, if you keep your books.
Okay.
And or you keep all the instruments that you are using, those are the tools that you are going to use for progressing further.
Okay.
Again, based on the field of studies, if it is doctorate or if it is finance, if it is anything else, they have specific zones for each of them where if you sit there, you get maximum benefits. But in a generic way, you can sit anywhere between southwest and west to get the maximum benefits out of that thing.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, face towards the west.
Okay.
Where your study table is. But again, the table color, the chair color, all that are very minute things which does matter. But overall, you can just do.
But there are, when you look at like a map for Vastu, they'll say, you know what, your study should be a certain color because it is more conducive to clarity, right? Your temple should be a different color. Your kitchen should be a different color. Do colors play a role in gearing your mind towards that direction?
Colors definitely are the core foundation for the Vastu.
Okay.
Like if you are sitting in an area which is all red, right?
Okay.
It is going those colors are actually affecting your mindset and stuff like that. But at the same time, you have to make sure that the 5 elements are balanced in your house, which is the very key thing. If your body is internally fit, then little things around won't matter much.
So
for example,
for the viewers who are joining us, can you tell us a little bit about the 5 elements?
So the 5 elements that we discussed were the water element, the air element, the fire element, the earth element, and the space element. So each of these elements have a certain color associated with it. So like water is blue, the air is also a synonym to wood, which is green, which fire by itself we can understand it's shades of red, or we understand earth in this case is yellow and space is white. So, but not necessarily that when you walk into somebody's house, okay, this is all blue, this is all green. You don't have to do that.
Right.
So you can introduce these colors very
subtly.
Very subtly.
You can also put like mats. You can put like a rug that color. You can put. You don't have to paint the house that color, right?
Yeah, but at some point of time, you really don't have to go ahead and change it. You can just change the area. If you, as I said in the earlier episodes, if you don't have a problem, don't go ahead and start changing your house.
Yes.
Your house, the energies have settled in. The way it is behaving. It's behaving the way it is. So we don't want to go ahead and start changing everything. If you have a problem related to kids' studies, for example, you can consult for finding out where should the kids study, or where should they, what zone should be, are they able to retain it, are they not able to retain it. One problem that most of the parents say is, oh, they know everything, but when they go to the exam, they completely forget because of the anxiety. Yes, because of the anxiety. So there is a zone for anxiety specifically.
Oh, wow.
So I normally say the kids should not spend most of the time between the area of the east to southeast. That's the kind of the area of anxiety, and it will give you a lot of sweaty hands and attention during the exams. Now, sitting there is just one small part. Now, if you have other elements over there, anything related to water, anything related to fire, that also affects. So it's better to get it consulted.
Yeah.
I don't want people to go ahead and start changing everything.
Yeah.
It might be one small item that they have kept there, which is bothering them.
Yeah.
So
I think what we're trying to do with Rshmi is to try and tell you where Vastu can help with these situations, not necessarily give you solution that may be too generic, right? Yeah. And you may need to see Rshmi for that type of consult, because it is a very small little tweak that can make an effect which will help you, right? But it is very small things.
It's very small things. It might be some item over there which is bothering the person. Now, anxiety issues. Other than that, people have this thing saying that I want to go for a competitive exam. And I'm not able to clear this. What do I do for those things? Now, again, it will be more based on their astrological charts and all. But for example, if I'm giving something related to a finance, I normally say, okay, sit in the north, facing the north, and keep your books over there.
Got it.
So for every professional fields, there are different areas. For doctors, there is an area between the north and the northeast, which is kind of a healing area. If they sit there, they will get the exact thing, what to learn, what to do and stuff.
So if anyone is looking for a promotion, is it different area for a different profession? So is a doctor who's looking to advance is a different area, obviously, but a computer person who's looking to become a VP or...
So certain areas are fixed, but it also depends on, for example, if they're sleeping in a zone of depression and they are saying, I'm not able to get a promotion. So we need to look at the complete picture. We cannot just cannot just say, okay, you sit here and you will get it. But most 8 hours they are sleeping in a wrong zone.
Yeah.
So the template that is getting downloaded is a different template again. Then we need to make sure that they are sleeping in the right direction. They are sitting and working in the right direction and stuff like that. So it has to be a complete set. You cannot just say, oh, you go on the internet and you find out what is the solution for this. You go and make sure you go and buy that and it's not working. And then you say, oh, Vastu didn't work for me.
Right.
So I don't want people to go ahead and start making those changes.
Right.
Okay. There are certain things, yes, definitely you need to make sure your northeast is clear, your southwest is clear. But other than that, I don't want to give away those tips where people will just make their steps and
it's like going to the doctor and saying I have a headache, right?
Yeah.
And he can't just give you Tylenol without asking you 100 questions first.
And it's very funny. I have been in that boat where when I was first pregnant, I started going on the internet to find out like zillions of symptoms, and I used to always be so scared when I was meeting my guy. And do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have?
And she tell you to stay off the internet.
Yeah, don't go with the internet and start making changes.
Yeah,
exactly. So and you will make
because
your house a museum with all those things. So you have those frogs also. I have this bouquet also. I have these plants also. What do I do with it?
Yes.
It's like,
so you need to just get someone to consult, but these are small things that can make a difference. So Rshmi, give us, we spoke a little bit about what to do. Give us a few examples, a few tips if you have, for some generic things for our listeners.
So mainly I want like some examples which I faced was, I had this mother coming to me saying, my kid doesn't like to go to school anymore.
Ooh.
Okay. So again, now we are not looking at Northeast, we are not looking at the area between Southwest and West. It's a different part. Now this is a different problem. So it is completely based on what problem it is. So normally I go with asking questions. So okay, why does the kid doesn't want to go back to the
peel
school?
the onion.
Yeah. So we need to know exactly what is the root cause. Is the kid more interested in TV? Is the kid more interested in playing with his toys or stuff like that, right? So finding out the root cause is the main key thing here, because fixes can be done very easily, but if we don't know what we are trying to fix, it's going to take us a long time. So this kid specifically did not want to go just because they want to play with their games, video games.
Okay.
So now what I found out over there was the video games and all was kept in the zone of retention. So where the kids are charging their iPads, where the kids are watching the TV, that also matters as to what is keeping the kids interested. So if the kid is saying that they don't want to go to school just because now the bags are kept in the zone of kind of depression, or the zone of where they don't want to, it's not interested anymore, nothing, something.
Yeah, it doesn't pique their interest.
And now their video games are charged in the zone of retention. Now that zone of retention is now calling the kid again and again to go and play with their video games.
Got it.
Right? So it is completely...
It's like small things.
Small
it's
things
so
on where
small.
Yeah, like it is so weird that, and I tried it on myself. So being a science student, I normally, when things like this, I try it on myself to see. So I did my phone charging for a lot of time in the Northeast to see what happens. And believe it or not, I really changed my wallpaper to some goddess.
Really?
And it does happen. You will try it, and like where you charge your phone.
Because Northeast is more for prayer. And
yeah, but somehow, and I had never put a wallpaper like that. And it was to my surprise. Okay, it does. Every small thing does matter.
Wow.
So we really need to know what is the problem. Where is the mind of the person?
So it's really, really scientific.
It's very scientific. It depends on that energy field. Now you're keeping now if you look at the phones are actually the complete set of entertainment for us. It is the set of business for us. It is a set of education for us. So everything, so all these zones are actually coming in our phone. So now it depends on what you are using the phone for.
Yeah.
Do you have all fitness apps on it? Do you have all educational apps on it? Do you have your complete attention just in the phones, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the people
are glued on their phones.
Exactly.
Right?
So it depends on where they're charging it and what they're using it for. If it's okay if you're using it for your business, then it's a different story. Or if you're using it for playing educational games, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're just browsing and don't know what you're trying to do,
that's where your attention is.
Yeah.
So it's where your attention is going is what the results you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Where it is charging. So these are like small things. Like even if you have your a certain area between your north and your northwest, if that is also cluttered, and you have say like old school books kept there, the kid will start missing their old friends. So it is all depends on why the kid is not interested in studies.
So what is the ideal place to charge your phone? Now I'm curious.
There's no such ideal place. It's what outcome you want. It all depends on what you want, right?
Okay.
So it's not going to be like I'll tell you, okay, go charge it in the West, but it not might be West for me. It is because I want something else from life, right?
Okay.
So it's everybody has a different purpose.
So it's not so simple as
Yeah.
X equals Y.
Yeah, so
Right, or X
definitely
plus
one
Y
tip
equals-
that I would say is do not put your TVs between the Southwest and the West, because else your kids will be just glued to the TV.
So Southwest to the West, no TV, everybody. Because everybody doesn't want their kid watching TV all the time, right?
And this is all experimented, right?
Yeah.
You put your TV there, or you just put their iPads there, you will start realizing that they spend too much time on their iPads.
So for that matter, you should move your iPads and all from West and Southwest zone as
Yeah.
well.
So there are different zones for entertainment and all. You can charge your thing there. So it is just used for a little point. It's not like the kid should not be on the iPad. They should.
Right.
But it should be for a little while, just for an entertainment, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
But that's a good tip because most kids today are spending, and I like the fact that the phones now tell you how much screen time you've had,
Yeah,
right?
for the
It
whole
is
week,
For the
yeah.
whole week. But so much time is spent on your phone.
Exactly.
So if you could actually just move your phone, now I'm really in my mind thinking, where is my phone all the time?
that's what I'm saying. Do not get consultation done. You do not have to go and start charging it everywhere in your house to get the results.
I want to
right?
see now what's going to happen if I charge on one side to the other side, because it is a science, right? So
it's a
then it
science.
is working like that. But if the iPad is in the West and Southwest zone, the child is going to be more prone to
Yeah.
using that machine. And if you're seeing that there is too much screen time in that, then that perhaps that's the machine you need to take care of.
Yeah.
And
So it depends on where the kid. So now it doesn't mean that you go and put all the books in there. Sometimes, again, with astrological things, that might not be the best zone for your kid to sleep in, or might not be the best zone for keep the books in. So for that, you can refer and get consultation done. But mainly, if you keep those things over there, generally it will give good results for most of the people.
So for going to school for children, focused
Yeah.
retention, when they're going to school and getting along with their peers, right? Because that's part of,
Yes.
getting ahead in school, getting ahead in life. Is there a place where you should be putting certain things to get, to be more friendly with your peers, to be more competitive with someone? Like, what are your life strategies for that?
So there's like a very simple technique for that. So every year you get like a kid's class picture with the teacher.
Yes.
What we are looking from them is we are just looking for support,
That's right.
right?
Yes.
That they should give us support when we need it. They should be friendly to us and stuff like that.
Yes.
So there is a specific zone in which if you keep your kid's picture with the friends and teachers in a yellow frame, it actually gives you good support from all the people in the class. So it's like, if you can't get a picture, you can just write their names. So it's as simple as that. It is just the way we are interacting with the energy, saying support needed from so and so.
So if someone is not having good relationship with the teacher or doesn't like their teacher, right?
Yeah.
Is that something you can do, is put their picture or put their name in a
Yeah.
yellow frame
Yeah.
and put it in which zone?
So it's very close to the northwest.
Very
Yes.
close to the northwest zone. And then that teacher will, this is, for parents who are struggling with these small little issues.
Yes.
This is,
Yeah, means I'm saying do not sit with the problem for too long.
Yeah.
If these are small problems, but for like working parents, it makes it very difficult. If your
huge.
kid is crying not to go to
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
and believe it, I went through that. My little one just cried, I do not want to go to the school. And I spoke to the teacher. She seemed very nice and very friendly. And I'm like, I don't know what was happening.
yeah.
And I realized she's still carrying the previous baggage of she was missing her old friends, which were not there in the same class. And it just happened that, okay, I found the picture, I put them in the right place, and it works.
wow.
So,
So does Vastu make your life perfect?
nothing is perfect.
Okay.
It'll make it very easy. So
Okay.
even if you get the problems, you get the solution along with the problem. So it
Got
is
it.
not a big problem anymore, right?
Right. So your mind kind of gears towards the solution or how to solve the issue.
Solve it. So
Okay.
even with kids not getting admissions in colleges,
Hmm.
kids not getting, there are certain ways which we can do, right? Wish list in certain corners, right? Put your applications in certain corner, apply on a certain date. So with numerology, it can help.
Yeah, so along with your college, college advisors, a Vastu advisor is not such a bad person to have on your team, right? Because they'll tell you which colleges you want to go to and what to do with that.
Yeah, so
if the planets can help, why not use the planets?
Exactly, use it to your benefit.
Yeah,
it is your choice, it's finally a choice what you want to go for or not go for. But yes, like having a certain email address, if that is going to help you, why not? I mean, I wouldn't mind having something extra to go in my favor to get what I want, right? So
is there, if someone wants to go to a particular college, you know how you have the yellow frame for
there are different ways you can do it.
Okay, is there a generic, or is that all astrological dependent?
It depends on astrological thing as to where to get the right thing. There is generic ways, but it's like more if you you can get the right results by doing it more astrologically.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously everybody has to have.
Yeah, so the means if everything, so like if you say today is an auspicious day, but you still see accidents happening on the road. So we are like, okay, this is an auspicious day, why is it not working for me? So that's where the planets come in.
Yeah.
Right? And the energies come in. If you see on the highways, there is a certain spot where there are maximum set of accidents that are happening. Why is it only that spot? Right? It's like in the middle of the road. There's nothing blocking it. There is no trees or anything which is blocking. But you always see that. The energy of that place has absolutely gone down.
Right.
So that's where most of the mishaps happen. So everything has a reason. You can just say, oh, this is the accident spot, or this is where somebody trips all the time. But it's not that. It's mainly the energies that are playing in.
Wow. Okay. And so, and that when you get a Vastu consultation, you get someone on your side who's now going to take your planets and put them in your favor. And little tweaks, and that's the thing about Rshmi, is that little tweaks. You don't have to make big changes. Little tweaks will take your life in a smoother direction.
Exactly.
Not in a perfect direction, but in a much more smoother direction. And
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not like what we think that we want is always perfect for us.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes the best things work in our favor. So sometimes it is good to get an astrological understanding of. Now, if I am supposed to be a Vastu consultant and I try to now study for, say, some dentist exam, I don't know, I can just make it up. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be good at what. So you have to understand the strength of the child.
Yes.
Do not concentrate on the weakness. Concentrate on what the child is good at. Try to make sure that you enhance that skills.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So let's say someone doesn't have a birth chart.
Okay.
Right? You don't know. People born here, obviously, everything gets documented, right?
Yeah.
But people born in India, some people have them.
Yeah.
Some people don't have them.
Yeah.
So what if you don't have a birth chart? How do you, or a horoscope? How do you handle that with the astrology?
See, there is always the right time, right? So when even though you have a question in the mind, you might be forgetting to call me every time. But the time you call me, I exactly understand the current planet alignment. And your answer is right in that moment. That's how I solve your questions, right? When you call in for a certain issue about a property, the answer is based right inside it.
There.
So that's where I know what is affecting in which corner. You just need to move that thing.
So that's not a detriment for someone. If they don't have a birth chart, that's not a detriment.
No. Okay. You can still go ahead and ask a question at the right time. And
so when you call Rshmi, she'll be able to see what and when you've called and base her answer based on that.
Yes.
Right? Wow, that's very cool. So that was my question, because a lot of people don't have that, right?
Yeah.
And so for those people, that doesn't mean...
No, it's not a showstopper. It's not a showstopper for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes most of the answers, like some people call me saying, okay, I applied for 3 jobs. Which one should I take? Now that is not something you can check from on horoscope.
Right.
That is based on the question you have asked and when you have asked.
Yeah.
Based on that, you can find out which will be the best job for this person.
Right. Nice.
So,
right. And we have a lot of questions like this. You've sent a lot of emails. We've had a lot of interest, and we have a lot of issues that Rshmi is going to be talking to us about. We are going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about illnesses. We're going to be talking about autism, about depression, about anxiety. And Rshmi is going to give you some tips, because these are the issues of society today. Divorces, the will not to get married, all of those things, Rshmi is going to give you small solutions to make your life smooth. With that, we would like to thank everyone for joining us on Vastu with Rshmi. We will see you again next week. And if you have questions, please see the email below. There's an email scrolling on below the screen. Please email us, and we will be happy to answer those questions for you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.